Another one of those games where it was pretty ugly, but the Bulls got the win. They had to keep us on the edge of our seat like they usually do, and yet another clutch game that came down to the wire, and of course against one of the worst teams in the league that has already been eliminated from playoff contention and without some of their key players as well. Initially I was going to say, we didn't really need Coby White for a game like this. The Blazers are a better team than the Wizards, no question, but they still should be able to put these guys away, even without Coby White. And not so fast. Give the Blazers credit, though, because these young guys didn't give up and nearly came back from a double-digit deficit in the fourth quarter to win the game on the road. Big shots from Simon, strong showing from DeAndre Ayton. I mean, they played well and nearly pulled out a victory, but the Bulls have the king of the fourth quarter who actually struggled a little to start in that quarter, but hit that big and one shot when the Blazers went up 3 to help the Bulls tie the game, and of course sinking those 2 final free throws to seal the game after being intentionally fouled. Also, hey, give credit to Vucevic. How about that big hook shot to put the Bulls up 3 with less than 10 seconds left? I thought for sure DeMar was going to take that shot himself to seal it, but with a man on him, he threw it down low to Vuce with a bit of a mismatch, and for a guy who has had one of his roughest seasons finishing within the paint, came up big with a big bucket for the Bulls to secure the win. You know, I will say, and I'm probably going to be in the minority on this, and I know this is a bit of a tangent, but I am not a fan of the take foul when your team is up 3 to send the opponent to the free throw line to prevent them from hitting a tying 3. I get that more often than not it works, but there are just too many things that could possibly go wrong in those scenarios. Hell, it happened the other night when the Bulls were playing the Pacers, where they were up 3. They intentionally fouled DeMar DeRozan, who isn't a three-point shooter, to send him to the line to avoid a chance at a 3. DeMar hits the first free throw, intentionally misses the second. The Bulls get the ball back and tie the game. And for me, there was also just too much time on the clock after that foul was made. 7.4 seconds stops the clock. This puts the Blazers in a position to make the free throws, but still have enough time left to try and trap the ball, maybe get a steal and have a chance at a final shot for the win. Or worse, they miss the second free throw, the ball gets loose out to the perimeter, and they sink a 3 to now put them up 1. Again, I know this is more of just extreme examples of paranoia and worrying about all the possibilities that could come from intentionally fouling when you're up 3, but in my view, let the clock tick, let him take a tough 3. If it goes in, you have a chance to knock down the game winner, or on the other end, the worst case scenario is you go to overtime. Now the foul in this scenario, yeah, I kind of get, because Caruso had lost Simons a bit on the screen, and Simons was actually pretty wide open for a look to try and tie the game. But yeah, not a fan of stopping the clock with less than 10 seconds to go and giving your opponent 2 easy points when there's still plenty of time in the game. But that mini rant aside, I need to talk about Dosunmu again, because I just cannot get over how incredible he has been since Coby White's been out. I mean, really, it was before that. He had been playing much better even before Coby White suffered that injury, but especially now when the Bulls needed the added scoring, they needed the added playmaking, a guy who can distribute and generate offense, and Iowa stepped up big time and filled that role. After posting a career high the other night against the Wizards with 34 points, tonight he puts up 23 points on 9 for 17 shooting, but also 10 assists after having 9 the other night. I just can't say enough about the level of improvement we've seen from Ayo, and while I know he won't win Most Improved Player of the Year award, and I still think that should go to Coby White, Ayo should still be getting some votes for that category, because the way that he's been able to elevate his game, especially on offense, has been nothing short of amazing. And again, that contract, $6 million a year for a guy who's projecting to be the future starting backcourt guy with Coby White. Like, as disappointing as this season has been, this is at least a very pleasant surprise and something to look forward to for the future if you're a Bulls fan. Of course, DeMar did his thing, 28 points, 10 for 17, very efficient, 7 for 7 from the line, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Big assist to Vucevic on that final play. Both Ayo and DeMar were a plus 12 on the night, by the way. And then for Vucevic, clutch shot when the Bulls needed it badly to put them up 3. Vucevic actually played decently well against DeAndre Ayton overall. Like, defense is another story. Ayton was able to get whatever he wanted in the paint and crashing the glass, but Vucevic still managed to hold his own. 22 points on 10 for 17 from the floor, 2 for 4 from 3. Anytime Vuce shoots better from 30% from 3, it's a good day. 22 points, 9 rebounds, also 2 steals and a block as well. I always think that in a matchup going against someone like Ayton, who's very athletic, very powerful in the paint, I think that it's going to be a bad game for Vuce, but he actually proved us wrong in this one. You know what? Caruso struggled tonight with his shooting, also had that nasty fall where it looked like he rolled his ankle and had to go to the locker room, which had us all holding our breaths, but he was able to make his way back into the game, was 1 for 5 in this one in shooting, but was doing his best defensively as he usually does, and snagging 3 steals and a block. Came up with that big strip on Anthony Simons when the Blazers were looking for that Hail Mary 3 with less than 5 seconds to go. He might not have his nights on offense, but he's always going to be there for you defensively no matter the circumstance, and it's why we love him. And hey, it was also good to see some strong minutes from Batum and Dalen Terry in this one. Terry ended up getting in a bit of foul trouble in just the 15 minutes that he played, but he was active and aggressive as he usually is, but was not as chaotic and spastic as he sometimes is. Was much more controlled with his shot selection, managed to pick up a couple steals, a couple assists. And then Batum, I'll say it again, but where was this guy earlier in the season when the Bulls could have used a scoring spark off the bench? Don't just call him a three-point shooter either, because he's actually got some decent handles to create his own shot and finish around the basket. Tonight, he went 4 for 9 with 9 points and 4 rebounds. Hey, we all criticized why the Bulls signed this guy to a multi-year deal when he only played 6 minutes for them all season long on that two-way deal, but now it's starting to become clear. This dude can play, and he can hang in there in this league, even in big moments at the end of the game. So anyway, this was another one of those games where I'm not going to get too excited about, because the Bulls nearly blew a fourth quarter lead to a tanking team, but yes, there were a lot of positives to take away from this game, with continued strong performances from Ayo, Vucevic, DeMar, and the support that was there from off the bench with Batum and Dalen Terry. And now the Bulls have a shot to get back to 500, believe it or not, on Thursday against the Houston Rockets in Houston, who have been playing a lot better as of late. They're on a 5-game winning streak. Good amount of rest for the Bulls, though. Hopefully we see Coby White back in action by that game. Heat and Pacers also lost tonight, so that's good for the Bulls in the overall standings. Still a lot of ground to make up, though. Hopefully they can get that win in Houston, get back to 500. I'll have some content out between now and then. Don't forget to check out my NBA channel as well. Link to that is in the description. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.